My name is Doc Lee. I'm a master in the art of Haikuta, the world of controlled violence, where knowledge replaces fear. What you are about to see is a course on self-defense that has never been on the market before. It is an intelligent way of defending yourself and your loved ones. We travel many paths throughout our life. May I now welcome you to the path of Haikuta, where knowledge replaces fear.
My name is Tim Demoff. I'm a former law enforcement officer for the state of Ohio for approximately 14 years. During that time, I specialized in undercover narcotics and narcotic cases. I also was a certified instructor for the state of Ohio. Since then, I've researched and developed several courses for the state of Ohio and for national release. My involvement in training has led me to have an interest in self-defense, which brought me to be exposed to the system of Haikuta. Before we get into the system of Haikuta, there are some basic facts which you must understand before we can proceed. Before we proceed for specific techniques, you must first understand there are levels of force. In a police situation, they usually break it down into many numerous levels of force. But for simplistic reasons today, we're going to break it down into 3 levels: low, medium, and high levels of force. If someone was approaching you and they would not let you get by them, or they put their hands on you or started pushing you, this is a low-level use of force. It calls for some action on your part. It can progress in a higher end of the low-level use of force, such as them grabbing your wrist. Now, some of the techniques we're going to show you will show you simplistic ways to get out of this. Instead of me fighting this subject, who may be much larger and stronger and skilled than me, I am going to utilize my body against a weaker joint, his thumb. By simply rolling the wrist, I can break hold. I'm going to show you it again. Simply roll against the thumb will break the hold. This will enable you to increase your distance, exit a different direction, but the main thing is your safety is going to increase, because the alternative is to sit here, have this aggressor controlling you and doing the things that he has intended to do that may cause bodily harm to yourself. Mid-level techniques are techniques that you should use when your low-level techniques do not work, or they totally are not effective in ensuring your safety. An example of a mid-level technique is, we just now had a wrist grab. You've rolled out of it and broke it, but you go to turn and the subject grabs you, pulls you in. You see a fist forming. You now know the level of aggression is getting higher. You now feel your danger to you is getting much higher. You must act quickly. A mid-level technique is a must at this point. One technique you may want to utilize is grabbing the wrist, stabilizing, coming with a nerve hammer hit to the top of the forearm. This will dismantle this arm from grabbing you. It will throw him off balance and enable you to push him off and exit if you want. Second option could be, after the grab, a knee strike to the nerve center in the thigh area, and as you can see, it will buckle the legs and ensure your safety to push off and get away. Mid-level techniques are techniques, once again, that you must utilize when your low-level techniques are not effective for your safety. When utilizing a high level of force, this is where we're going to get into the Haikuta techniques. Doc Lee will be explaining those techniques to you. Make sure you clearly understand that your level of force that you use must equal the level of aggression that is being used against you.
As we get into our Haikuta lesson, we are going to first demonstrate on how we use our hands. We use various parts of our hands, and it's best if you get yourself a phone book and place it on a table in the very beginning. And I wish for the student that's real serious is go through this with me. The more you practice this, the more proficient you will become. The whole concept of Haikuta is that when we use our hands are not really perceived as a weapon because we use them very quickly and very effectively. Let's start with an open hand into a solid force. We start this by raising the hand over our book, relaxing the body, closing the hand slightly. As your hand drops down, you want to open that hand as wide as possible. Try and raise these fingers and your thumb. As you are dropping it down with a little bit of force, you can hear the sound the hand's going to make. We will be applying this force into the face area of a human body, and it has a very damaging effect. The other part of the hand that we are going to be using is the meaty portion. We make what we call a C. We relax the hand. As we bring it down, our thumb goes down and we're forming that C. If you hurt your hand, you are not doing it properly. So as you're dropping it, you make that C. And you keep practicing until you can apply more and more force. Whatever you do with one hand, if you are right-handed, start all this with your left hand. Start the first one first, the open hand, slightly closed, coming down. The other hand motion is making the C as you are dropping it, and your thumb being your guide. Your thumb just closes the last second. We will never ever make a tight fist in Haikuta. For when you hit a solid object, if I had a tight fist, I will do damage to the knuckles or to the fingers. The other move that we use in Haikuta is we place the hand towards a hard object and we just let it collapse. If you notice, these just barely touch. It's a relaxed hand. Just try that. Let it collapse there. It was a magazine or your phone book. Start applying harder and harder. After you have accomplished this type of practice, I want you to set back down and I want you to take your hand and I want you to actually grab that table. In doing so, you will find that if I just raise the hand, I can only raise it so fast. If I grab that table, I have a different type of speed. So let's raise the hand up and bring it back down. Let's grab the table, raise it up, bring it back down. Do this several times. Get the feel of your hands and then try this on a solid object, such as a wood table. If you can do the same thing as you're doing on the book without hurting your hands, you are doing it properly. Try this. The reason we're having you grab the table in the beginning it gets the hand in motion. By me grabbing this table is releasing that hand, and if I distribute a little bit of weight and equally grab the table with the other hand a second behind, it gives me this type of a motion. When you can fire this into opponent, you will have this type of effect. The blow that we are going to be using is the ones that we showed you where the hand is going like this. We never will make a tight fist or you will break your fist. So even though we're doing this with both hands, practice putting one hand in your pocket and make the one hand do all the movement. Make it get off the table. Make it go into someone that's holding a phone book or something for protection. One more time. Move, move. Using both hands, one hand's going to help drive the other. You then will have a little quicker movement. This can become extremely fast. If we can do it from here, we can do it from here. You're in right now. Notice how I'm grabbing the air. Let me slow it down. As I grab the air, I'm moving in. Now let's, in our next segment, show you what the startle is. The startle is no more than putting your hands on the table, getting them off the table as quickly as you can and putting them back. Let me do that again. Grabbing and, all right, this time we will grab, we will bring them up as quickly as we can, but we will execute a hit. So the startle is like a sneeze. It's a very quick movement that you can make. If someone walks up behind you and says, boo, instead of going like this, reaching up. Let's go back to developing our startle move, because this is a very important key in the art of Haikuta. Remember, we had our hands on the table, brought them up as quickly as possible. Well, if you take that same energy and let's say we're going to hit a person on our side. Instead of me bringing both hands up here in that startle, that hand now, with the same quickness, is going to be a strike force, and the other hand is going to help strike. Whenever you execute this, get your hand up and get it back to you as quickly as possible. For in the world of Haikuta, you are not just fighting one person, you are fighting them all almost at the same time. Getting back to what we are saying. By me striking out to the side and getting the hand back, that is one move. By me getting the hand back, I can go into another direction. To explain our textbook a little further on the Kuta hand, when we point our fingers at an object and we collapse that hand, we are going to get a shock effect from this distance to that distance. That's why you never close them fingers. Now, if I hit him with a tight fist, which I will demonstrate now, we have a shock wave that travels up my arm right up to my shoulder. And this is a good thing for you to experience yourself, have someone hold a phone book in front of them. Keep it away from the heart area, hold it above the heart, and hit that phone book with your fist with as much power as you can put behind it. If you notice, the body will be able to absorb it, and the shock wave will travel up your entire arm. However, when there is a very little shock wave, you have a different effect. Now, I will not put power into this one. I will put speed. We have a different type of hit. The quicker I do this, with a little move in, we have this type of a hit. So it's what we are saying. Experience this yourself so you know what the difference is between a Haikuta hand and a tight fist. It's very important to be able to change up your body weight when you are delivering a Haikuta move. When I move forward, I will get behind my body with that blow. We'll take it very slow, and then we will do it, we'll pick up the pace. Remember, one hand crosses our heart, the other hand snaps out. While we are doing that, this foot at the same time starts forward and the other one backs it up. It's a very easy move. Just do this with me. Do it with balance and do it as natural as you can. When we pick up the pace, and we put a little startle move into it, it then becomes from here to there. Again, we'll increase the pace a little more. If you notice that it's all done from a passive position, but you practice it this way, you can put your hands in your pocket. It is no different. It's all the same move. Off to the side. We'll start with our hands on our hips. Same move. Hands in the pocket. Same move. Doing two moves, one after the other. It's there, there. Back to the forward position. You're there. It's all done with balance and with speed. The blow that we showed you, hitting the table with closing the hand and opening it the last second, is mostly generated towards the head area. When your hands are up in the air, the person's holding a knife on you, or the gun, or whatever, he has you holding your hands up. As this blow comes in, it's closing and it's going to open as I cross my heart with the other hand. Because let's always remember, movement creates movement in all aspects of Haikuta. To show you what we are doing here, I'm going into this motion. All right. Our C is dropping into this motion. All right. Now, let me do two quick blows, showing you with one hand going into this blow, my hand coming back, reclosing, and going into that C. All right, I will stop each time. Now as I release my hand, going into the C, all it is motion. A good thing to practice is have a person stand on the side of you And let's say you have delivered a blow in this direction and you do not have time because of everything that's happening with you to change the elevation of the arm. What I'm saying, there's a blow there. I immediately will go into that C because as I'm coming across my body, I will be exploding it in. Go through this again. I've delivered a blow here. I do not want to change the elbow elevation, so I will do this with a little more effective speed here. So you're hitting with the whole body. Now, if we will take our hands and we will put them together, and we will say that if one hand can touch me and I can touch the other person with the other, all it's doing is training the mind and body to work together. You follow what we are doing? We're just merely bringing one hand in, and I try and beat this hand coming in by having this hand here. At the same time, this must travel a greater distance. But you can touch both your own body and his body equally. We do this by having the ability to practice to throw this hand. When we pick up the pace, it then becomes a... You notice how my weight and everything is transferring? After you've practiced this, then start making the Haikuta hand. For speed is what gives you the ultimate edge. And as you practice these various moves in the beginning, do not try and hit with strength. Have your speed do the damage. Your hand becomes like a whip. That's what I'm saying. I will turn it into a whip now. I will actually grab my shoulder, and as I'm crossing, it becomes that whip. All right. If you can do that a couple times with me, just go through that motion, and then explode it. You will start to develop your speed that way. Then cut down the distance. Don't reach as far. Reach half as far. Then pretend you're reaching as the hand just explodes. For remember, Haikuta is the art of body motion with speed and controlled violence. To give you a demonstration on one hand going to one opponent and then to the other from a passive position, and we will freeze the move, then we will do a continuous. Your first move, when you are approached and they are off to your right, you always must go to the furthest one. The reason for this, if you go to the closest one, it gives the opponent that's the farthest from you a chance to think and to strike. So your first move, using the Haikuta hand, is as your hand crosses your heart, as you are turning to strike. It's one move. Then your weight propels forward, get the other opponent with the open hand, like we were doing on the book. And it goes from here to here. Now watch the distribution of the weight when we fire this here. Step one, your hand crosses your heart, deliver the blow. Step two, deliver the blow. You notice how the weight is behind it. Okay, our next demonstration, using one hand. If this person is directly behind me and I must go to him, as my hand goes over my shoulder to hit, and then it opens upon the opponent as we are springing into hit. You always must put your body behind your weight, and you must move as naturally as possible. In a set of circumstances where you are surrounded by 3 people, again with the same principle, this man here, being the furthest away from me, is the one that you will go to first. And it's a quick snap from a passive position. We're into him. Your next move is a quick left hand shot into him as you are turning your body into him. It's all done with little quick snaps of the body. The other option is with the same hand going in the first one, strike, strike, strike. You can do this in any combination, but practice with your friends of surrounding you in different situations to where you can move on them with a real quick explosion. If you wish to see a demonstration with one hand, we'll show you how this works. With one hand locked in your pocket, and then we will go again to the furthest. It's there, it's there, it's there. The same type of move, just twisting, snapping the body. When you are in a situation where there are 4 or more, you must always pay attention to the ones that are basically out of sight. This man here is out of my sight, and this man here, but we know they are there. Because when you are being approached, you are watching everything. That's very important. The next thing is your plans on how you're going to execute your body movement. The ones that are out of my sight must be attended to first. And we will stop each move. As the hand comes across, then as you whip your body and your hand back, or this one, into him, into him. It's all a transfer of body weight and moving as quickly as you possibly can. So it takes an awful lot of practice. We can also nail 2 with a hit and a kick at the same time. And as your hand is going over your body, and as we are going to snap into him, my weight will drop, and the kick is applied. And we are firing into him, and we are firing into him. Notice the distribution of the weight with your blows. Using this portion of the arm is very effective in taking out a person with a blow like this. If you have administered a blow like that, to a blow like this, to a blow like that. It's all movement. Practice getting the body to move with little tiny explosions. It's very beneficial. If there's only one that you feel that is going to attack you, no matter where he's at, deliver that blow first. Play that in slow motion to see what is happening with the hand. We will make that move again. You will see that the hand can become quicker than the eye with total power. Now we're going to take a walk through the house showing you items that are not perceived as weapons that can be utilized as weapons. They're all around us. They're in every room. There's just numerous. I want you to walk through your own house after watching this portion of it and pick up various things, because they can and will save your life if anything happens. It's the element of surprise. It's a simple move. We'll take this cup, for instance, and it's an innocent looking item. It can be full of coffee, half full of coffee, it does not matter. It's how you hold it and how you utilize it. If someone has walked into my home and have startled me, and this is all I had available to me, it's merely Placing this in the palm of your hand. Bringing your hand into your heart as you are rotating your hand. That's all it is. But you do this quickly. Grab a cup. Hold it in your hand. Poke yourself with it. Feel what this will do. Realize, by holding this in your hand, with that simple stick poke motion with the other hand coming up, fired quickly, what it would do to someone's face. They would stop whatever they were going to do to you. It gives you that chance to get out of your house, make the phone call for the police. These items are all around us. Even this is classified in our world as a weapon. It's all on how you hold it. I can put it in between these two fingers, lock it in that hand, have it innocently down by my side, and give it to someone right now. You'll penetrate their throat. It'll go into their face. Doesn't matter where you hit them, just put it in the general area of the face. It will give you time to get away. They're going to be so busy holding that area, wherever you have struck them, with a simple thing like a spoon. This can be a fork, anything. Or you can merely hold it, leave a couple inches as a point, lock it in that hand, and just do that move. It's simple. Other items, this happens to be rubber, plastic, it bends, but held in that hand, executed, does a terrific amount of damage. Just pick up these items and poke something with it, see what's happening. You'll realize what a weapon this is. The moment that I was to take anything and raise it up above my head to strike with it, this will get you hurt, for it then is perceived as a weapon. But if this is innocently held in the center, down by my side, I am approached, I let him have it, it gives you an almighty edge. I mean, it's just, items are just everywhere. Don't want you to experiment yourself. Walk through your house. Terrific weapons. If you happen to be caught doing dishes or you have a plate in your hand, don't set it down and run for the hammer or for that gun or for that poker. Use what you have. That's your edge. These are utilized many, many ways. In slow motion, I'll show you how to use it as a frisbee. It just goes into the neck area, or up alongside the head, or into the chest. If you are a small person who requires two hands, use two hands. Bring it up. Doesn't matter how you use it. The point is, use it. These are terrific weapons. Anything shaped like this. It can be a cutting board. It can be anything. Just let them have it. For when they are not perceived as weapons and you react instantly, it gives you that chance to survive, not to get hurt, get out of there. However, some of these items, if you use them, let's go to the refrigerator for a minute, just grab a couple. Any shape or size, anything that will fit in your hand, are weapons. Take something shaped like this that has a handle. Don't use the handle. Don't hold it by the handle. It's going to be recognized as a weapon. And it will, if who's ever broken your house has a knife, they're liable to use it on you. But if you hold them innocently, and let them have it with this. That's all over for them. These items are, if you put the big end in your hand, you have quite a striking force here. And all it is just a snap. Going anywhere into the chest, try this. Have someone hold a phone book in front of them, and don't hurt your friends. Do this lightly at first, very small poke, and increase it so you know what they can take. And then you will realize what's going to happen when you let them have it with that snap, with that Haikuta move. These, a can of pop, a water glass, a can of beans, a can of soup, anything shaped like this will do more damage than a blackjack or a knife. These are classified as terrible weapons, held in the palm of that hand. And I'm just going to poke him lightly. You will use these in the face area, but just so you can see the power that I'm putting into it. Into the face, if I was to go into the face, it's going to do so much damage to that face or the chest. But if I'm afraid to walk out of a store because there's a group around my car and I'm a little nervous and I can't get any help and I'm on my own, I would most definitely buy a can of pop or a can of beans. Hold that palm of the hand, keep it by your side. But if and when you're approached, you let them have it with this. And if you lock that in that hand, you use it over and over and over again. It's going from one direction, back into another direction. Play with these items. Be able to move in all directions at once. For if the time comes and you prepare yourself mentally and physically and become familiar with utilizing anything around you, holding it in your hand, holding it properly so you don't lose it, it will save your life. We have so many items in our home. Item that is very effective is a glass. You know, you're not going to break that glass. You're going to break a face with that glass. You know, it doesn't matter the shape or size. In the palm of the hand, if anything's going to break, this is going to break, not the thick portion. And it's so easy with that move we're showing you. As you hold something innocently, like, you know, and then just let them have it. That move. It can be done so effectively, so quickly. We're going to go to other areas of the house just to give you a general understanding of the many items around you. Walking into the living room area, I picked up a magazine and I rolled it up. These make such terrific weapons. The concentrated force that you can apply with a rolled up magazine is a deadly force, either end. When you hold this magazine in your hand, you get a real good grip after it's been rolled up. And when you fire this, you fire it into the face or the upper portions of the body. Holding this down by your side, remember it's not perceived as a weapon. This is not. But you apply it. You can apply it so quickly. Either end. If I've applied it to an opponent in front of me, and as I'm coming up into their face area, as I'm turning, I slam the other hand into it. It'll be amazing what you can do with these. If the person's over here and you had to fire at him as you're coming back, put that body into it. If you have a strong arm. If you do not, you're a small person, only weigh 90 pounds, put that hand into it and drive. Terrific weapons. We have so many items that can be used. Locking into that thumb area can be a calculator. They're laying all around. Remote controls, pick them up, lock them into the hand, poke with them. If you happen to be changing or being around your VCR and there's the tape there, you hear a noise, lock it in that hand. You can't go nowhere it's locked in that hand. Give you a little demonstration just with a little poke on what that can do. Have someone hold that phone book and just touch them lightly, just like that. Realize what you're going to do when you blast them in that face area. Books are the same way. Using the point, being brought up into the face area. As long as it's held down by my side, it's not perceived. No manner as a weapon. It's the element of surprise, the quickness you can deliver it. We're going to spend a moment in the bathroom area and show you some items found in there. The many items that we have in our bathroom or in your bathroom, by you walking in and picking these things up and become familiar with them, is a simple thing like a toothbrush. If you place it in the palm of that hand, lock it in between those two fingers, as we show you in our book. And with that stick motion, plastics that they make this day and age, that's not going to give. You're going to do a considerable amount of damage to that face area. Put a toothbrush in your hand. Just touch yourself with it. Experiment. All shapes and sizes of perfume bottles, everything else, same principles we've been showing you. Locked in that hand. Let them have it. It's the more you experiment, the more you find out the items that are all around you, the better off you will be in case something happens. Another good thing is if there's a bar of soap there, there's a little cloth or anything, put it in there, let them have it. Don't be caught off guard. Realize that everything in your house can be utilized if you will just walk through and pick up these things and practice. For you never know when something's going to happen to you. So it's up to you. All we can do is talk about these items. You must learn to do these yourself. Remember, if we mentioned the various sprays that you can put in a little spray bottle, it's real easy to have one of them sitting by your sink in a bathroom, just in case. Or up in a cupboard if you have little kids. Or on your nightstand if you are living alone. You're afraid of someone breaking into your room. It's really, knowledge replaces fear. The more familiar you become with items on your person, found in your home, the better off you will be. I wish you luck in this wealth of information that we have passed on to you. And always practice Haikuta mentally. For it can and will save your life or that of a loved one. Thank you.